Okay, can I push my luck tonight to make it 3 in a row? Will I win actually 3 games in a row? Will I not have to suffer the pain of losing? I'm just joking. It's not going to be that painful. Time investment, I keep saying. If there's not much time investment, I can't see the need. It's just practice for over the board, really. This, in fact, as well as better commentary for YouTube. So those are the two sort of goals, I think. But it is a limited pool compared to the 5 minute, and it takes a while. So while we're waiting this time, instead of looking at more commands and tips, let's try and look at a game. Probably more interesting. So who's playing? There's FT Rodent or something. A GM. FT Orodent. Okay. It's a 3 minute game. Okay. 3-0. What is going on here? E6 looks pretty bad. Let's see what opening this came from. Queen's Gambit declined. Pawn sack. Fianchettoing after. Fianchettoing is the recommended pronunciation rather, in the Oxford English Dictionary, just to give you a little update in case you missed that one. KillerWhale. I think we played KillerWhale before, and it was quite a crush. Actually, the other game seems to have disappeared. Let's try Gambit. If I can click on the right squares. Or rather, Maroxy bind. Oh, cheeky. Very funny. Good one. I'll put the bishop over here. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, what about double fianchetto? Double fianchetto with a cream on top. So bishop g2 and okay. Okay, so h3 and knight f4. I don't like weakening this diagonal. He's forcing a concession from me if I play f3. Does it matter? That's the question. If bishop e6, knight f4, I'll play it anyway. Okay. Maybe king h1 just to get out of danger for a moment. Back to the old Maroxy bind. That bishop's bad anyway. Let him exchange off the bishop. Who cares about bishop h3? I hope I don't regret that. But, you know, I did have a pawn at f3. I've got my Maroxy bind set up on knight squares. Binding d5. What's the queen doing on c8 here? Okay. How do I build up pressure in this position? Let h4 to secure the knight first, creating more weaknesses around my king as well at the same time. And b4 I could create weaknesses on the queen side as well. Let's pretend that's queen side expansion. If he's not going to play a5, I might test that theory. Is b4 any good? Or is it double edged? Really, am I threatening h5? There was a lot of towel games with h5. I could pretend as though rook h1, h5, you could play h5. Or I could actually play literally h5 here and sack a pawn. I think I'm going to play h5 actually. Pawn sack. Yes. I was worried. Now his king side's being compromised. Surely because of rook h1s. And he's letting me double his pawns. That's sick. And I can play g4 after. Do I want to play that though? Do I want to indeed play that? The problem is he's going to have a huge knight on e5. So takes. I assume he'll take with the bishop. Takes. What other sadistic things can I do here? I can play f4. I can play g4 and maybe try and reroute a knight to f5. Interesting. I think actually f4 has got something going for it here, with the idea of knight takes, bishop takes, then queen g4. Also the f file. I think f4 has got some advantages over. I don't want to give up e5. Anyway, I want to just open lines to the king here. Just because he will have double pawns, give him the e file, send me out an e file pressure, big e5 use, versus having dynamism down the f file, having a target on g5, coordinating forces on f6. It's much better surely to play f4 there. I know these things are very controversial, but so f takes h6, bishop takes, rook takes f6 looks absolutely crushing. I'm going to go for that h6 here, tear open the lines for rook f6. I've opened the line for the queen. Maybe I should start looking at how to sacrifice queen and rook here now. Queen h5 doesn't do anything just yet. h7 check looks dangerous. So knight takes, bishop takes, king takes, rook h1 looks crushing, king g7 looks completely diabolical. So I think I'm just going to go for h7. Yep, I've got access to the h file here. This beautiful rook h1. What are these pieces doing over here? Nothing. So bishop takes looks good, rook takes looks good for queen h5 and the other rook coming in, just to keep these guys. So okay, I suppose I should start calculating something. Check, and rook h8 also looks good for queen h5. Rook h1, king g7, queen h5 looks good. Oh, everything looks good. Can I lose this? It'll be embarrassing if I lose this. There's bishop f6 and queen h5. I think rook h1 then. So I want to get in queen h5. I think just taking and then queen h5. King's safety's been shot to pieces here. This is why it's easy to lose in chess, because of the king. It's such a vulnerable piece when it's exposed. Even if you're a brilliant player, if your king's exposed, it's easy to lose. That's why Tao, became world champion, because he was a brilliant attacking player of the king. So queen h5 check. And then queen g5, and I'll have a reserve artillery coming in. Or should I calculate this? Queen g5. Is he really escaping here? It looks ludicrous. Queen g5 and rook h1 look absolutely crushing without much calculation. He resigns here. Oh, at 2142, I'm getting an inflated rating. I'll say thanks, I think. Sophie wants to see my commentary. So, okay. Was there anything instructive about this game? Probably not. H-pawn, we learnt that last night from Tau Games about the H-pawn. There was maybe a decision you might agree with or disagree with. Let me know in the comments. Did I make the right decision here, guys, to play f4? Or should I have gone for this bishop f6, which looks as though that's ugly, but black would have e file and e5, and I lose that beautiful bishop. So what do you do here? Bishop f6, which looks tempting, or f4? I ask you, what would you do? Vote now. So, the way it turned out was pretty crushing. Now you've got to admit, with the bishop and knight. Comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks very much.